Alright, so this week we are going to discuss the HBS case, Read Supermarkets, a new wave of competition. I actually have reviewed most of your posts on the discussion forum on Blackball, and I think each of you actually did a really good job, and I can tell you actually spent a lot of efforts in analyzing this case. So in the next few slides, I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you about this case. So here is the brief background of this case. In 2011, Meredith Collins, who is the vice president of marketing of Reed Supermarkets, she's actually faces in a competitive challenging. So the company is actually facing their increasing competition from dollar stores, right, such as Dollar General, and limited assortment stores such as Aldi, right, which is a German retailer. I remember when I traveled to Germany about 3 years ago. I actually noticed, right, all these actually really popular in Europe, right, especially in Germany. And I also noticed that, right, in recent, years, it actually grows, really fast. It's in the U.S. market as well. Right, I live in Naperville. I actually can observe, there are actually 3 or 4 Aldi stores, right, in this area. And probably, in the town you live, I think you can also observe, right, there are some stores, right, in the neighborhood. So the limited assortment stores, right, is growing really fast. So the central question, right, faced by Colleen is, what adjustments she needs to make to a current marketing and positioning strategy. So the company actually has the 3 different options: maintaining the current positioning strategy, retreating further from the price competition, or actually, they can adopt a more price-oriented strategy. So to answer this question, right, first of all, let's take a look at what is Reed's position in the Columbus market. And also, how serious is the threat posed by dollar stores and Aldi? Do you think is the dollar stores and Aldi are actually very strong threat, right, to the supermarket that they need to worry about? Or do you think it is actually modest or weak threat? The company actually, they don't need to concern too much about it. Okay. And the last question, right, is what should Collins' action plan be for Reed supermarket for 2011? So at that time, when they face such competition, facing such situation, what should they do? So before we can answer the last question, right, let's take a look at Reed's position in the Columbus market first. So actually, based on the information I got from their case, I actually created a table like this, right? To show you the Reed's position and its competitive position, right, in the Columbus market, based on the following 4 different product attributes: level of prices, the breadth of assortment, and the quality of services, and level of store ambience. So as you can see, the price of retail market is actually, much higher, right, compared to other competitors. And they also carry a very broad assortment of products. The quality of the services is considered to be really good, right, in terms of store atmosphere. The employees are really friendly, right, and helpful. The level of store ambience is also very good. Okay, so similar competitor, right, who has a similar position compared to Reed is Defina, as well as Whole Foods Market. Okay, and also to better, help you visualize the position of Reed Supermarket and its competitors in the Columbus market, I actually created a positioning map like this. So based on the information from the appendix, right, we can get the consumer's average perceived price of Reed and their competitors, the quality index, right, as well as the market share of REIT and other competitors in this market. Okay, so as you can see, right, the size of each circle indicates the market share of each store. So REIT, right, is represented right in the orange circle, and the FINA, right, is in the green circle, and the orange one is Whole Foods Market, right? So these three stores actually have very similar position in this supermarket industry. Okay, so to help you better visualize the position of each store, right, it's better to create a positioning map like this, right, based on two different product attributes: the quality and price, right, as well as the market share of each company in this market. Okay. And the second question is, right, do you think the dollar store and Aldi is strong or weak threat? And as far as I read the comments, right, you post on your Blackboard, some of you perceive dollar stores and Aldi as very strong threat, right? You may mention about a reason because there is a growing number of the dollar stores and Aldi, right? So there's increasing the price sensitivity of the entire Columbus market. So consumers are becoming more price sensitive, right, at that time. And either a dollar store or an Aldi store actually sited very close to REIT, right, in every shopping plaza. Right, so you think this is a very strong threat, right? If there's a store next to you, you probably will lose lost some business in grocery staples, cleaning products, and hairs and beauty aids, right? In that particular product categories. And also the Dollar General, as I mentioned in the case, right? They install a freezer in their store recently as well at the time, right? So this also can be a strong threat to the company because definitely they will steal some market share from REIT. Okay, so some of you probably perceive dollar store and Aldi is very strong threat. But some of you, I also mentioned that it can be a weak and modest threat. So probably you can mention the reasons. The consumers, right? They tend to buy different products, right, in two different stores, so they can save on staples at dollar and limited assortment stores, but they still buy the perishables and specialty items and REIT as part of a shopping trip, right? So you can actually still shop at REIT supermarket, but you just purchase some items in those two stores. And especially when the economy recovers, right, the consumers may, come back to the full service supermarkets, right? They have more purchasing power at a time. And as I mentioned earlier, right, in the positioning map, actually a more significant threat to REIT at a time, maybe it's Whole Foods Market and the FINA. So the victim of the limited assortment stores and the Dollar General, right, can be conventional supermarkets with a much weaker market position than REITs. Right, so for example, such as Galaxy, right, they need to worry, probably more about the threats from the Dollar General and Aldi, right? So here, are some reasons for those who may perceive Dollar General and as weak or modest threat. So again, right, for this kind of question, there's no exact right or wrong answers. So as long as you can, provide some reasons and your reasoning, I think, your answers are also considered to be really good, right? So there's no exact right answer or wrong answer for this type of question. And finally, let's take a look at the last question, right? So eventually, right, what you recommend Collins to do based on your analysis. So actually they have three different options, right? So here are some reasons you probably may recommend. The first option, they maintain the current strategy. So continue to emphasize quality, service, and assortment, right? Still perceive themselves as a high-end supermarket, right, offer a wide selection of private labels. But, to compete against the limited assortment store, they can actually run some weekly specials, right? You can offer family size packages to broaden the risk customer base. And sometimes, right, you can also run some special promotions, right, such as double couponing, right? Often like $10 off if they spend like $50 in store, right? And also like maybe $1 off some certain items, right? So to offer them special promotions to increase the store traffic, right? So at for this option, right, you just maintain the current strategy, still positioned as a high-end supermarket store. Or maybe you can, to a much higher position. That's option two, right? It increase the advertising and promotion of risk specialties. Why consumers want to come to your store, right? Because you have really good products. You have like a much wider range of assortments. Your employees are extremely helpful, friendly, and knowledgeable, and you offer a lot of organic products, right? So you promote your position as quality leader more effectively. Okay, so this time, right, you want to move, your position far away from, the two competitors, right? The Dollar General, and the limited assortment store. And the third one is the one I don't really, recommend. You switch to everyday low price format, right? So you actually decrease your prices significantly. However, I think there are some risks associated with this strategy, right? Think about Top Value and Walmart, right? They are actually, the very strong competitor, right, in the low-end supermarket, position, right? So they have actually strong market positions, right, in this, low-end market. And they can, by switch to everyday low price model, you probably will lose some of your existing customers, right? Think about those customers who shop, at your store, right? They probably also shop at Whole Foods Market, right? They prefer organic products, they prefer, better store atmosphere in the environment. So, if you switch to everyday low price, right, which can hurt your position, that hurt the consumer's perceived value of the products you offer. So you can potentially lose some existing customers. And also you need to probably run extra advertising to educate the consumers about this change, right? And for those consumers who still perceive your store as a high-end grocery store, right, you need to probably provide more advertising to change your consumers' perception toward your store. Personally, right, I actually also offer another option, right? So maybe rich supermarket they can establish a new store brand as well, right? So instead of compete against the Dollar General and Aldi head to head, you can actually launch a new retail brand where you can establish a different store. You can call it Fresh Market, right? Or any name you like, right? Which is different from retail supermarket in a limited assortment format. So in this way, right, you don't need to change consumers' perception toward the British supermarket. You don't need to change your current position, right? You launch actually a different brand, a store brand, right, to compete against Dollar General or Aldi, right, with similar marketing position. Okay, so here is the last option, right? You probably can recommend. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy this week's discussion. And please let me know, right, if you have any questions, right, regarding this case. Okay.